You are welcome back to House of Ada. In today's video, I will be sharing a detailed explanation on how I made this dress. My goal this year is to make all the dresses and the tops that I will be wearing this year. Keep subscribed to this YouTube channel and let's get there together. When you want to make this dress, you want to first of all cut out the flay. The reason you're going to cut out the flay, except you have got large piece of fabric, but even if you've got large piece of fabric, you need to cut out the flay first, because that is what takes the big chunk of the fabric, and when the flay is taken, that is going to help you to manage your fabrics. So I'll show you what I'm going to do with the fabric on the paper, but the rest of the things I'll still show it on the fabric, but because it's a large piece of fabric, it may not be seen on the table. So I show you first what I'll do on the fabric and we go straight onto the fabric. So you want to first of all fold your fabric into 8. This is a full-fledged dress. So this is the first part. The second, making it into 4 folds, and then the third to make 8 foldings. So I'll fold my fabric into 4 like this, into 8. Then you have 1 layer, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. When your fabric is folded like this, then we're going to cut. So this, I'm going to go to my fabric, fold into 8, and we start. This is my fabric. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the last part here, 8. Then I'm going to measure now. The waist, when you're making this dress, what you measure is the shoulder, the bust, the waist, and the full length. Then the sleeve length and the sleeve round. To cut out my flay, what I need is to start from the half length. So this is the dress. I'll cut here. This is the upper part, and this is the upper part, and this is where the flay would start. So I'll start to measure from the half length down to the full length. So my waist is 36 inches. 36 by 8 is 4.5. So I'll take this down to mark 5 all round. This is 5 and half an inch. So here is where I'm going to measure to see if here is 4.5 inches, and by measuring is 4.5. So if you're confused and you don't know how to do this, make sure you extend your fabric and you keep measuring here to make sure your waist is exact when you divide your waist into 8 pieces. So as you can see, the last one is my 4.5. So I'll just mark here, but I'll cut on this second line here. The half length is 18 inches and the full length is 40 here, and then I'll cut at 41 as I need this 1 inch for hemming, and I'm going to cut 41 inches all around. Next is to cut it out. This is my half length. To cut the front part, I already folded my fabric into 2. So here is my shoulder line and half inch seam sewing allowance. To my armhole, 9, So the waist 14, full length is 13, and half-inch seam sewing allowance. The shoulder is 16 by 2, 8, plus half-inch seam sewing allowance. The bust measurement, so the bust is 42 by 4 is 10 and a half, then 11 half-inch seam sewing allowance. The waist is 36 by 4 is 9, plus half an inch seam sewing allowance, making it 9, and here too is going to be 9. So because I'll be adding a little bit of that here, I will make it 10. So like this, or here you curve it, and so when you curve, so to my neck here, the neck is 4 and a half. When you finish sewing, it's going to be 5 here. So when you're cutting, know the dip that you want your neck to be. So here 10 is my nipple length, so I have to be careful not to cut it down to 10, and I'm going to cut to 7 and a half. So by the time I finish, it's going to be 8. I want it a block neck, so, and on the shoulder is slant. Then here you have to curve it in to look nice and shaped. So to make the back, I folded my fabric again into 2. Now you place the front pattern onto the back. Okay, I have to turn it. So you place this on the back panel, and the only thing I'm going to do here is to extend here 1 inch zip allowance, and on the back side is going to be high neck. Okay, I have to take it down. I want it high. And I will keep this aside and then cut the rest. To cut the sleeve, I folded my fabric into 2. So here it's ½ inch. I'm trying to manage my fabric, and this 8. I'm going to hem with 1 inch, so I'll leave it at 9. And my sleeve round is 14 by 2 is 7, plus ½ inch 1 inch seam sewing allowance. So from here I'm going to come up to this place, and I will draw it down like this. So here you just minus 2.5 So to slide down here, you minus is 2.5, you minus and you cut it down slightly, go down and you cut it down. This is the front and this is the back. So remember, on the front I curved it here, but the back is straight. So this is my zip allowance. So from here I'm going to cut off 1 inch. So from the side it's going to be same. It's going to be same with the front, but I will cut off this because your back is straight. And if I leave this, it's going to look horrible at the back. Is to go ahead and line the front and the back next. So here I already cut out piece of fabric, so I folded my piece of fabric into 2 to form a bias binding. So like 1 inch for one for the back and this one for the front. So I'm going to sew on the back. You know how to make your bias binding. If you don't know, please let me know in the comments to make a video about how to sew your bias binding. So I'm going to sew at the back and top stitch it on the front. And for my sleeves, so for my, this is the 2 sleeves. So to line the sleeves as well, I just want everything to look same and unique. So I'm going to sew as well on this sleeve. I will sew here to line it, and then I will top stitch it on the front. But the sleeve, I made it to look different, so it's going to be 1.5 inches, so that it's obvious on the front part. This is what it looks like after lining the neck, and then you iron it. Time to join the shoulders together. So here and here. After joining the sides and the hem, so this is the middle of the front blouse. From the center, you mark 3.5. Remember, so this is the line where I have for my waistline. I make sure that I extend that line. So here, mark out 4, and on the other side is 4. Hold it up to make your dart. And I'm going to sew like this, 1/2 inch. I hold the other side up. The reason I'm ironing before sewing is because the fabric is so slippery. So to make sure that you're sewing on the right part, 1/2 inch. Then at the back, I have 1 inch for my zip allowance. 1 and So at the back 5 inches, then to 4, just like you did on the front. And on the other side 5 inches down, one inch zip allowance off, and 4. After sewing, you join the sleeves by pinning it all around the armhole. Sew round, and I pin the other sleeve and repeat this there. After joining the shoulders and the sleeves together, so this is what I have. The next is to slit the skirt, is to open it where you want to be at the back. And I'm going to hem all round. I'm going to overlock, sorry. To join the skirt, you just know where is the middle and you make a notch. Mark the center of the front. Now I place the place I made a notch together with the top. I pin it round. Next is to go and join it together. After joining together, this is what we have here, and then it's time to add the zip. Before you add the zip, you make sure that the middle are together at the back. Then from the waist, down, you mark only 5 or 6 depending on the height of the person. So from 5, I'm going to sew down. Remember, you have 1 inch zip allowance to go down like this. So from 5 here, I'm going to sew down and close. I'm going to sew down and close here. Then zip would start from here and is ending here, and I hem it, and that is the end of the dress. If you want me to show how the zips are added to a dress, please let me know in the comments.